Good morning. I'm here today with Mr. Chet Mroz, the President and CEO of Yokogawa Corporation of America. Yokogawa, as you may know, is the largest automation supplier in Japan and one of the top automation suppliers in the world. And they have been aggressively building their business in North America under Chet's leadership. Chet, thanks for being here with us today.
Thank you very much, Larry, for having me.
Good. And so we saw continued global economic improvement in 2014. Was your company able to leverage that growth? And if so, what were some of your success stories in the past year?
Yes, we have actually, from the projects that we reported in 2013 and 2012. We've recently been starting up the largest offshore deep water subsea projects, St. Jack Malo and others with Shell and Chevron. In addition to that, we've been starting up a number of petrochemical and fertilizer type projects throughout the United States. And an interesting part of that is that we're also expanding our activity in doing operator training on these plants with our operator training simulation system, the Omegaland. And finally, we've opened up our new and finished building our new distribution center in Noonan, Georgia, next to our factory to give our customers faster delivery.
Oh, that's a lot of activity for 2015. And as you know, we're here at the ARC Forum, and a big topic here this week is the Industrial Internet of Things. Can you tell me a little bit how the Industrial Internet of Things has affected your business as a whole, and how are you responding with new products and solutions for IoT?
Right. Well, it's been a very vigorous and extensive discussion here at some of the sessions with regards to the Internet of Things. And certainly we've articulated what we think is the Internet of Things in a white paper that was released at this forum. The differences between the IT, the information technology, and the integration with the operations technology, which is what we do as a specialist in that area. The Internet of Things for a lot of us, I think in the automation business, means a lot of smart connected devices, which are now being made available because of the increases in processing power, increases in memory capability at a low cost, and the ubiquitous networking to many wireless networks. So all of that is combining to really changing the way we're going to be doing projects, the way we're going to be working in the future with regards to the utilization and the capability of these devices.
Yeah, I think it's certainly going to create a lot of momentum for the marketplace in 2015. Could you maybe share with us some of the other key initiatives that are going to further improve your value proposition to customers in 2015 in addition to IoT?
Right. Well, following up on all of the activities we have in the Gulf of Mexico, and I don't know if people are aware, but we have something like 15 large systems installed offshore in the Gulf of Mexico with our DCS and safety system and instrumentation. And as a result, our customers there are asking for a lot more support in the area. So we are going to establish a capability and a presence in the Gulf of Mexico near New Orleans to support those installations. Some of the other things we're going to do because of the price in the oil price drop, we see expanded growth in the very downstream chemical industry, the specialty chemical area, and that's largely driven by consumer spending in both automobiles and housing. So we're going to focus on those kind of accounts and customers in 2015.
Yeah, very good. Yeah, we've seen the same kind of uptick in the downstream as well as a result of these lower oil prices. And that's obviously a big challenge. So I'm interested in your opinion. What do you think are the two biggest challenges for manufacturers and processors in 2015?
Right. Well, I'd like to approach that question, as Yokogawa manufactures instruments and so on, so we too are a manufacturer. And I guess the two things that I believe we're all manufacturers, whether you're a factory, a discrete manufacturing, or process manufacturing, are facing the challenge of digital transformation, and that's sort of related to the Internet of Things as well. And a lot of the traditional industrial manufacturers think that digital transformation is primarily for the retail industry or consumer industry, but I think that's not the right way to look at it. So using digital technologies in all the functions across our processes, developing the product, supporting the product, marketing and sales of the product, I think that's a challenge for everybody. And then, of course, that leads to the fact that you have to have people that can support that digital transformation, whether it's operating on the manufacturing floor or at the process plant. And that's where we have a skills shortage and a demography change here in terms of the workforce aging and new workforce coming in. And it's been difficult attracting younger people to the industrial environment. However, if we can find different ways of managing them or enticing them, giving them more freedom and creativity in the job as a plant operator or a factory floor operator, I think they can be attracted. And of course, the digital technology that they'd be using is natural for them. So those are the two areas, I believe.
And that, I know that can be a challenge when it comes to innovation, hiring those new people and that new talent. And innovation's a big theme here too at the forum this week, and coming up with new products and processes, is very important to compete effectively. Maybe you could shed some light on how you're encouraging your company to innovate, and subsequently maybe you could say a few things about your R&D program. I know Yokogawa sort of has a reputation for spending quite a lot on R&D, so.
Well, we want to change that a little bit, okay? And I'm glad you brought up the subject of innovation, because it's one of my favorite subjects in the last year and a half or 2 years. At Yokogawa, we have created a group at our corporate headquarters called the Innovation Department. And what it is basically looking at our intellectual property and managing it more astutely, because we've developed so much around the world. And secondly, to create innovation throughout the organization, not just in a development or an R&D environment. So we have basically defined two types of innovation, incremental and disruptive. At headquarters, we're very focused on the disruptive innovation, which is largely the unknown or about future things. And then the incremental innovation is what we do in our standard product offerings and our current businesses, and that's involved with the product platform division at headquarters and the regional centers that sell and market and are close to the customers. What we're doing in Yokogawa America is we've created an innovation committee from all of our functions in our operations, and we're trying to actively engage our employees in submitting ideas, ideation, and becoming innovators in their job. And innovation is not just the products or that, but also the work processes, workflows, and so on. You can be innovative in those areas as well. So we've seen a really enthusiastic embracement and engagement in that committee's activities amongst the employees. It's actually encouraged 3 of them to actually file patents. We've been granted patents for some new things we're working on. So I think rather than spend more money in one central R&D department, we're really looking at harnessing all the creativity and innovation that's in our employees worldwide through the global activity and the regional activity.
Great. Yeah, I think regarding innovation, as you said yesterday on the panel, sometimes the customers may not know, what some of their key problems are, and I think that's one of the opportunities that the automation suppliers have to maybe, step in and solve some of those problems, that are nagging the industry. As you're forecasting for 2015 and beyond, maybe you could give us some commentary on what you think are the biggest global economic tailwinds that may be helping your business going forward, as well as some of the biggest challenges moving forward.
Right. Well, tailwinds, of course, accelerate our activity. Let me talk about the headwinds. I've got a new acronym for the headwinds, okay? It's VUCA: vulnerability, uncertainty, complexity, and ambiguous. And that's the business environment I think we're in over the last 5 to 6 months, and it's going to increase. Yes. So I think it's really hard to say any one of those things, but just in the last 6 months, we've seen the drop in the price of oil and what a tremendous effect that has as a result of the supply-demand situation just changing globally. We see the BRICS, the emerging markets that we thought had so much promise just a few years ago, really slowing down or actually getting into trouble. The geopolitical situation, the monetary situation that we're facing just this week, okay? So it's really going to be a complex and ambiguous 2015, in my opinion, and 2016. However, as headwinds, we're the other way around. It's the tailwinds drive it. Headwinds, that was VUCA. On the tailwinds, what we have is still our gas resources in the United States are at a low price and quite attractive to a number of foreign companies as well. What we see here in America is that the foreign direct investment has substantially increased over the last year and a half, and it's primarily coming from European and Asian chemical companies are moving to the United States to build their plants. We have a number of those projects are in place. So we see expansion in the chemical industry as being quite significant over the next year and a half to 2 years. And if you take a look at the fact that the price of oil has also created more consumer spending, we clearly see that in the automotive market, clearly see that in the housing market and other consumer markets. And, you know, the American Chemical Council basically estimates there's about $3,500 of chemicals inside of every automobile. And in every housing start, there's about $15,000 of chemicals in it. So as those things expand, the need for more specialty chemicals expands. So that's the positive side of economic activity right now.
Yeah, very good. Yeah, yeah. Most people don't understand the far-reaching impact I think that these industries have on our everyday lives, and that's some great commentary, Chet. Thanks for being here with us today. I've been speaking with Mr. Chet Mroz, the President and CEO of Yokogawa Corporation of America. Thank you for being with us.